Hi, and thanks for checking out this Viking tutorial. I'm going to talk to you through all the steps I did in order to make this cool Viking person who's smashing the crap out of this skeleton. I always start sketching the idea out as fast as possible. Not because I'm in a hurry to catch a train or something, but to put the global idea out that's in my head on paper as soon as possible. And I really mean to get that first sketch fast, like it shouldn't take you more than 2 minutes, tops. The reason for this is that it really helps pointing out mistakes early on. My experience is that the more you get into detail in the beginning, the worse your drawing will be. As you can see, I did this within like a minute and a half or something, and now it can be used as a guide to build upon. Now, the most important thing to remember is that the goal of this phase is to get a sketch done as soon as possible, not to make a beautiful sketch. That's right, it's not about beauty. If you do put a lot of time in this phase, chances are that you might draw an arm the wrong way, or the head doesn't quite look right, maybe the perspective is all off, or maybe you just don't like the overall composition. If you don't draw fast, you'll see those mistakes really late into the process. And that's when you don't feel like doing any adjustments anymore. So, this is really tip number 1. Sketch fast. Get that idea out soon. Phase 2, flip it. Once I'm done with the quick setup, I like flipping the canvas quite a few times. I do this to filter out any mistakes I might have made that I missed the first time. As you can see here, he's leaning over a bit too much to my liking. This is a great way to check composition and body posture on your character. The reason that you fail to see your own mistakes is that you're developing kind of a blind spot. You're not seeing your mistakes anymore. You're basically just getting used to the way your drawing is looking. By flipping the canvas, you'll see your artwork with fresh eyes, so to speak. So, now I'll start sketching over my first setup, but again, with still speed in that pen. Don't start getting into much detail right away. Keep it loose here. Keep it open to adjustments. I like the idea of the Vikings smashing that axe into the ground, but I kind of feel like there could be more energy here. I'll fast forward this a little bit. So here we got sketch number 2, still looking very rough. Not a lot of detail in there. But this second sketch took me about 3 to 4 minutes, so that's great. Not a lot of time wasted there, and I'm getting a better feel for what I want to work towards. So flip it again, and here I start putting in more detail, like clothing and the way his arm is shaped. And here you can see that his hand isn't really working out that great. I'm going to leave it for now, but this is what this method is good for. It quickly shows you the difficult parts of your artwork. Because I want to get that strong perspective in there, his hands needs to be different from what I'm drawing now. What I also like, what I don't like, is the fact that he still seems to just lean over instead of smashing his axe into the ground. Actually, it looks like he's just trying to pull out the axe instead of driving it in there. So that's going to need some attention. Flip it again. Yeah, I told you I was going to do that a couple of times. This time I want to figure out how that axe is stuck in the ground. I'll fast forward this again. So So this is looking okay, apart from the minor mistakes here and there. Flip it again. I also like to select body parts and just drag them around a bit, scale them up or rotate them. Again, just to get a quick feel. You know, see what does for your artworks, what it does for your artwork. It's not looking perfect, but that's not the goal. It's a quick way just to play around with your drawing and discover new insights. So, this is done. And what I'm not liking here is the lack of energy in his movement and his body posture. And I'm not sure about the perspective as well. I think it can be pushed a bit more. So up to the next phase. So, this is a step that I wanted to show you, which I think is really important. The difference between nice work and great work. If you look at this drawing, you might think, you know, it's not bad, it's okay. He's doing this Viking thing, having fun with his axe, but it looks like a pretty picture, but it doesn't really knock you off your feet. You know, it doesn't sell it, it doesn't get across what it could get across. So if I were to draw his spine, you know, from the head right down to his back, you know, find that action line, you kind of see the problem right there. It doesn't say action. It's a bit tame. What you want to see is something like this. You know, a clear action line. Really pushing his shoulders in there. Here the head, or maybe like this. You always have to get that line of action in there. And the best way to get that in is to make his body posture speak really, really clearly. Like they do in theater, you know. You always have to exaggerate your motion, make it look bigger and louder. So that's the next step. How can we push this further and make it more powerful? Not sure if this is the right thing. Although it's looking more powerful already. Maybe let him swing that axe more, like from the side or something. More from the side. Really get a broad motion there. So, that's the next phase. Yes, correction. The phase we all hate the most. As you can see, I already did some tracing here. And I really want to narrow down the important lines. You know, the lines that sell the image. The strong back line, the chest line, the arms, the shoulder parts. It almost looks like a silhouette now, but because right now I'm only interested in what his posture is. Just to get the most out of the way he's standing in terms of energy and motion. Even if you look at it like this, it's clear what he's doing. You know, even without all the details. I'm not there yet, but I like where this is going. In this phase I always try to play around with structure and strong lines to see how I can push the artwork as good as possible. You know, maybe make the shoulders a bit broader, flat stomach. This technique, by the way, is very handy to see how certain body parts curve. You know, just sketch all those curve lines in there to make the shape clear for yourself. Making sure the arms are aligned, that this perspective here is correct. Get some detail in that face. I like his crazy look, this crazy Viking look. Not sure what he should hit though. Maybe a skeleton or something. As you can see, I'm still trying to keep the speed in this phase. I'm still avoiding getting into detail too much. You know, getting into detail too soon, I would always advise you to do that as late as you possibly can. I think it's the best way to create anything. You know, keep your options open and just play around with the lines and structure. Just see where it takes you. He's looking like some kind of metal headbanger or something. Not sure about this front leg though. Something off. Flip it. Yeah, there's something wrong with it. Now I'm drawing the hand, because the hands also seem to be not correct. So this is a step to see how exactly he's holding the axe. And as you can see now, the arm is way too long. Just look at it. It's like almost Stretch Armstrong or something. His front arm is, his forearm is way too long. It should be more like this. Yeah. Yeah, this is better. Again with the curvy lines to see how perspective body parts curve. Foreshortening is always the most difficult to draw, I think. But this is looking pretty okay. Get the chest in there. Hands. Yeah. Oh, this is kind of handy because the front arm is kind of blocking the back arm, so saves you time. I also want to push the perspective a bit more, you know, make that axe look huge. Yeah, and now that damn leg. As you can see, it's too long, so I think it should be shorter, more like this. I'm showing you this, by the way, because just to remind you that it's never like, it never goes as planned. You know, you're gonna run into mistakes and hard things to figure out, but that's when you learn. And even after 20 years of making illustrations, I keep on learning. So I think this is looking better. But still, there's something wrong with that leg. It's irritating me. And his head as well. His head should be more like tilted back or something. You know, like the swing of the axe just tilt backs his head like this. Yeah, this is looking better. I think we're gonna go with that. Yeah, definitely. As you can see, I like the curvy line from his spine all the way down to his back leg. There's a lot of energy in there. Yeah, this is definitely better. Horns on his head. Yeah. And he actually be tilted a bit more. Like this, I think. Yeah. This is starting to look okay. You see the difference in energy here? Just look at it. So much more energy. So now is the time to add some detail. Because right now I'm happy with the overall setup, his posture, the perspective, you know, the overall composition. And now it's time to play around with the details. And the nice thing about this is that you don't have to worry about structure anymore, because you know, if you just follow the lines you already made, you're not gonna get in trouble. You know, you're not gonna put hours and hours into a face and then finding out it's too small or too big, or his head is standing in the wrong direction, or his neck is weird, or any stuff like that. I think I'll go with this look. He's angry. He is definitely angry. Not crazy. Some ponytails in his mustache, in his beard actually. Yeah, like that. As you can see, there's still speed in this detail phase. Again, just to, not get stuck in wasting a lot of time in like minor parts of the drawing. Because if you just learn to set up things quickly, you can still get the detail in there, but you don't miss the overall composition of the drawing. Yeah, a nice skeleton to keep his cape up. Still very crude, very fast, but there's detail as well. This saves so much time if you don't have to worry about structure and composition and how certain body parts are curved and twisted and how they look when they are close to the camera, and it just saves you time. By the way, I designed this character just on the go, but there's a whole lot to learn about character design as well. So I think I'm gonna make a tutorial about that one day as well, but I do have a life, And I like the way his hand is holding the axe now. Yeah, this is going to be okay. Make sure it doesn't get cluttered there. Although that damn leg, I don't know what it is, but it's frustrating the hell out of me. Even in this phase, it just looks weird. I think his lower leg should be more like curved to the back or something. I really like the way his axe swings now. Like it just curves into the ground. I think I'm gonna make it wood. Yeah, this is kind of cool. He's a strong dude to get an axe that far into the ground. Yeah, this is cool. But that leg though, oh, that damn leg, action to accentuate his swing. Yeah, look at the difference here. Okay, flip it. And now it's leg day. I think it's the perspective or something. Usually what I do in a situation like this is that I just start quick sketching again, to see where the problem lies. Just setting it up pretty quick and just try out different positions, see how different positions of the leg work for the overall composition. So this is wrong. This is not good. It's not bad, but it's just weird looking. Maybe if I put his foot like in a twisted angle. Maybe like this. You know? No, this is impossible. It just looks even weirder. Nope, it sucks. I think maybe put his other leg up front. Make the other leg. No, that would be impossible too. You couldn't swing an axe like that. Just doesn't look. Okay, you kind of lose the line of action there. So no, this sucks as well. Oh, that looks totally weird. Maybe. No, there's no energy. I think the problem lies in his foot. Because the angle of the camera is really low. I think you should like look up into his foot. So you should see his sole of his boot. I think that's a problem. The perspective is wrong. We should see it more from a lower angle. I think that's. Yeah, see, every time I get to the foot, it just draws flat. Yeah, more like this. Foot sole, yeah. And then a bit more from a different angle. See, this is why you should play around and not get lost in detail. Just try different things. You know, try all your options, and eventually, you know, you'll figure it out. You'll just figure it out. Yeah, I think it's starting to look better. Again, I want to show you this because, you know, this is the stuff where you learn from. It's always the stuff that goes wrong that you can learn by. I'll fast forward this a little, just to make sure you're not falling asleep. But yeah, this is what was wrong with it. Yeah. Wham. That's it. That's better. Now it all falls into place. Alright. Yeah. So, let's skip it a little bit ahead. So, yeah. This is looking good. I think we're gonna like let him smash a skeleton or something. Chop the head of some kind of zombie warrior. Maybe his old pal that died in the war. Sorry, buddy. His neck vertebrae. Throw some bones in there. Yeah. Yeah, this is looking good. Just deleted the old legs there. Okay, I like this composition. So flipped it again, and now it's time to really get in the detail and really, nail it. Because basically this is just putting in the detail. I'm gonna fast forward it a little, because there's not a lot of stuff to learn here. I always try to do a little shading in the sketch, just get a feel for lighting and what kind of material certain things are made of. But it's nothing I'm dead on using later on. I could still change my mind, but it helps to get some detail down for later reference. For the coloring phase, it can be useful. Now you can just add detail as much as you like. Although I would advise you to try and keep the composition alive by try to give balance in your composition. I see a lot of drawings on the internet where there's just like an enormous load of detail in the drawing. You see it a lot of times in like anime drawings. I'm not talking about the really good ones, but the amateuristic ones, I guess. But it's so cluttered with detail that you're kind of missing the entire picture. It's just too much stuff going on. So really try to get the detail in the things that matter. So in this case, it's the expression of the Viking, the swing of his axe, and the skeleton he's chopping his head off. All the other stuff is basically not that important. I'm not saying you shouldn't draw it or just you can ignore it altogether, but balance it out. Try and figure out where you want to lead the eye of someone who's looking at your artwork. I think the most important for this picture is the energy, the look on his face while he's smashing his bloody skeleton. So this is it. As you can see, see the difference. There's just a lot more energy going on in this drawing than there is in this drawing. And the basic points I wanted to get across are, look at the line of action. If you look at action here, it's just, it's not speaking volumes here. Is it like, I'm just laying the axe down, after a hard day's work. But this guy is really slamming that axe in there. He really hates skeletons, as you can see. So that's the line of action bit I wanted to get across. There's definitely more design in this guy over here with the chest, slim waist, pyramid shaped legs there. Just more contrast than this guy. Well, he's like more one shape. It's not very interesting to look at. Same goes for the head. You know, this guy is okay, but this guy, you really believe he's pissed off. He is really pissed. He's like, oh, okay, just gonna slam my axe in there, but nothing special going on. So basically, I like the composition a lot better. There's just more going on, a lot of perspective here, with a small Viking, his buddy friend over here that's close to the camera, his gigantic axe really slamming in there. It's more interesting to look at. And if you look at this guy, is just, you know, it's all a bit the same. It's all a bit flat, not a lot of energy, not a lot of perspective. It's just not interesting, and that's the point I really wanted to make in this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and check out the coloring version of this Viking, because I've got a lot of tips in there as well.